Tonight on ABC7 News at 6, a powerful ceremony in Augusta as people remember fallen law enforcement officers who gave their lives to protect our state.
Plus, a special report on scams impacting Maine's elderly and the roles families can play to keep their loved ones safe.
And a new chapter begins for the Millinocket Library as employees lay out plans for the future. We'll have those stories and more as ABC7 News at 6 starts right now.
This is ABC7 News at 6.
Good evening, everybody. I'm J.R. Mitchell.
And I'm Kayla Fish. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a bad motorcycle versus car crash in Palmyra this morning, sending 2 teenagers to the hospital, one by life flight.
The motorcycle driver, 19-year-old Zachary Connors, and his passenger, 19-year-old Kimberly Buckowitz, were taken to Eastern Maine Medical Center in Bangor following the collision. Buckowitz was originally taken to Sebasticook Valley Hospital, then flown by life flight to Eastern Maine Medical Center. Now
police say 74-year-old Sandra White of Skowhegan was driving a Ford Fusion when she collided with the motorcycle as she pulled out onto Route 2. The car was apparently trying to cross the road to get to Walmart on the other side of the street, according to eyewitnesses.
The vehicle was trying to pull out to go across the street. The motorcycle was coming down the road, tried to swerve and miss him, but unfortunately the result of the accident was because they couldn't miss him in time.
She was pinned under the bike after he was thrown into the ditch about 10 feet.
Well, Somerset County Chief Deputy James Ross says Buckowitz suffered a serious injury to her foot, along with possible other broken bones. The collision occurred around 10:30 this morning, and reconstruction specialist Deputy Brian Crater was called in to collect details about the scene.
Crater spent time measuring a strip of newly laid rubber, apparently from where the motorcycle attempted to stop, and took photos of everything, including a sneaker that was knocked off in the collision. The 2 victims, both of Eddington, were wearing helmets.
Meanwhile, a video posted on social media helped Bangor police track down a man suspected of child abuse. Police say 41-year-old Theodore Ellsworth was arrested last night and charged with domestic violence assault. Officials say it was around 5:30 last night when police received a report from a concerned citizen about the alleged abuse. Police say a video was also posted on social media which helped them track down the parties involved. Ellsworth was arrested a few hours later and is being held at the Penobscot County Jail. The Department of Health and Human Services has also been notified.
A man wanted for allegedly harassing and stalking a woman is now accused of ramming police cruisers to get away. Police had been searching for 40-year-old Edward Crooks of Dexter last night after hearing he was continuing to harass the alleged victim. A Dover Foxcroft officer spotted him on North Street around 10 o'clock p.m. and attempted to stop him. They say Crooks sped off in a small SUV and tried to ditch police in a local parking lot. By then, a sheriff's deputy had also joined the chase. Officials say they managed to box him in on a side street, and that's where they say Crooks rammed the deputy's cruiser before backing up and striking the Dover cruiser. Police then boxed the car in, leaving Crooks with nowhere to go. Police say Crooks refused to get out of the car, and they had to use a taser to place him under arrest. Both he and Deputy Kyle Wilson were treated for minor injuries. Crooks is now charged with OUI and other charges related to the chase and the crash. He also has charges pending from the original harassment case. Meanwhile, with the fatal shooting of a Somerset County deputy fresh in the minds and hearts of people across the state, law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty were honored in Augusta this morning. TJ Tremble with that story.
A 21-gun salute paid tribute to the law officers who have lost their lives while serving and protecting Mainers. In the first 17 weeks of 2018, 21 officers have been killed while on the job across the country.
Unfortunately, at this point, Maine is part of those statistics, and you normally don't see that. So it really opens your eyes.
This year, the name of Freiburg police officer Nathan Desjardins became the 85th name on Maine's fallen law enforcement officers monument in Augusta. The 20-year-old officer died in June 2017 while responding to an incident on the Saco River when the boat he was in crashed.
As we look at those names on the wall, to many of us, they aren't just names. They were friends, they were colleagues, they were classmates.
Next year, the 86th name will be engraved on the monument. Somerset County Deputy Corporal Eugene Cole, who was killed in the early morning hours of April 25th.
It's so important for us as a community, the law enforcement community, the public, the families of these officers, that they get the proper acknowledgement.
Governor Paul LePage praised the fallen officers while saluting those still wearing the badge.
Because you don't get the accolades that you need every day and should have. Neither does your family. And the unsung heroes here today are the families.
And buglers played taps as a final farewell to those memorialized on the monument. In Augusta, I'm TJ Tremble reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Well, thank you very much, TJ. Meanwhile, Emera Maine spent part of the day attempting to restore power to thousands of customers. Close to 3,600 customers began their day without power in northern Penobscot County. Well, it turns out a squirrel had wandered into some electrical equipment at the Millinocket substation, causing the outage. Crews had to first determine what caused the outage, and then they concentrated on repairing all the damage.
In other news tonight, employees with Health Equity Alliance are launching a new service in Bangor to help meet their clients' medical needs. In the coming weeks, HEAL will be offering a triage clinic where clients can receive non-emergency medical attention. Free services include wound care, pregnancy tests, rapid HIV tests, and medical advice. The idea behind the part-time clinic is to reduce unnecessary ER visits while also better serving the Health Equity Alliance's clients.
We serve folks with HIV and AIDS, LGBTQ folk, and people who use drugs. Those people tend to be most marginalized in the healthcare community. So it's really an opportunity for them to get the care that they need without feeling stigmatized.
The clinic is run completely by volunteers and will be open for one morning and one afternoon during the week. For more information, check out this story on our website, WVII.com.
Well, the Penobscot County Sheriff's Department is warning about a scam. It received several calls yesterday from people who heard from someone that claimed to be an employee of the sheriff's office. The caller said there were arrest warrants for the person being called and bail could be paid over the phone. Officials say law enforcement will never call you about a warrant or to collect bail. Police suggest that you merely hang up the phone and call it in to the police.
Well, not long ago, the Millinocket Library was closed due to a lack of funding, but it's come a long way since then, and a new phase is just beginning. Shauna Narayan with that story.
About a year ago, the Millinocket Memorial Library received a $5,000 grant from the Next Generation Foundation to create a state-of-the-art library. Since then, they have been coming up with new ideas for the building, and now they are ready to share those ideas with the community.
We're at the exciting part of the process where we're ready to reveal what it is that we're planning for town.
Everything you see here will be completely transformed. They'll have all new bookshelves, a children's center, and much more.
We want the building to be kind of a model of sustainable practices, so we're putting solar panels on the roof, we're putting wood pellet boilers to heat the building, a more efficient building that people can look to, and as more investment happens in Millinocket, they can see the library as kind of at the cutting edge of that.
Delaney says they will be creating a flexible space inside so they can have more classes.
And we can adapt the space to different types of uses.
He says they are aiming to start construction May of 2019.
But the lead up to that point is inviting people to be part of the process.
Coming up on May 26, they are starting a public campaign to get the community involved. Chair of Capitol Campaign Committee Albert Fowler says they will be doing it periodically throughout the construction process.
Making it known to them, giving them a reason to believe that this is going to be theirs.
Delaney says the days leading up to May 26, they will be going door to door to invite people to join them at the library and celebrate how far they've come.
People can meet the different people that have been working on this, the different project teams.
The Millinocket Memorial Library is a statement in town, and Fowler thinks it will have a positive, uplifting effect.
I think that there's been a disconnect in terms of individuals for a long time, and this project will give us an opportunity to connect together.
Reporting in Millinocket, Shauna Narayan, ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Oh, it's good news for them.
Great news for the town of Millinocket. I just say that, that's a former teacher of mine. I'm being from Millinocket. It's good to see things like that starting to come back around and people are starting to utilize it and the funding is coming back to that community.
Exactly, and it looks like this weekend might be a good time to spend at the library.
Yes.
The forecast does not look too bright.
Not bright at all. Brittany Boyer is in. She's got a first look at your forecast.
Thanks, JR and Kayla. The forecast tonight is brought to you by A+ Motors, and we had a pretty nice day today. Temperatures, we're feeling all right. We stayed nice and dry, but you can see to our south there is some rain and that's going to be approaching us, unfortunately, just in time for the weekend. So hopefully you enjoyed this high of 73 degrees. We should be in the mid-60s. We'll be closer to average for tomorrow. It is going to be noticeably cooler, also even cooler as we head into tonight. Mainly clear skies, a low of 40 degrees. You can see the cooler air that will be in place for tomorrow. Rainfall still south of us, but that rain will be arriving on Saturday, and some of it will be heavy at times. We'll time it out for you with your extended forecast coming up, but we'll send it back to you, JR and Kayla.
All right, Brittany, thank you so very much. Well, still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, a special report on the many scams targeting Maine's elderly and how family members can help keep them safe. And in sports,
baseball championships are just a week away, and the University of Maine thinks it has something in its pocket that nobody else has. All that and more when the ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
Welcome back. Law enforcement, elderly services, and mental health doctors say there are a number of different preventative or proactive measures Maine's elderly can take to avoid being scammed. They also say the family plays a crucial part in keeping seniors safe and secure. Blake Lipton has more in part 2 of Senior Scams.
They don't want to disappoint the person who's calling. They want to try to be helpful. They may feel lonely and enjoy the conversation. The person's trying to befriend them.
When scams reach Maine seniors, many are already in a vulnerable state. Add a pushy person to the mix and the results can be costly.
I can tell you that not many things in this world are immediate. Life or death right now. If you don't go get $3,000 in a gift card, then your son's going to go to jail for the rest of his life. That's very unlikely.
Captain Dan Merrill of the Orono Police Department saying one of the big tactics of scammers is forcefulness. His advice is to avoid giving out any personal information, but if it is too late, make sure to contact your local police department, your credit card company, and what may be your most helpful resource, your bank's fraud department.
They're very opportunistic. And so the only way to combat that is with education.
Companies like AARP of Maine work closely with local law enforcement to provide a database of reported scams and have also established a Fraud Watch network, a nationwide network to educate and inform communities about current fraud tactics.
It's important that this is not just targeted to our elders, but also to their families to be aware of what sort of traps and scams are out there.
Els says the family has the best chance of helping seniors avoid these scams. Acadia Hospital's Dr. Clifford Singer says it's important to address the issue early so seniors can keep it in mind, reminding them this is common and can happen to anyone.
If your parent or your aunt or uncle hears this from you, they may be more aware that this is a possibility and remember that conversation.
Acceptance of this reality needs to occur for the most success in avoiding scams and to avoid reaching a crisis point of denial.
When there's a crisis, yes, there may have to be an immediate intervention, and feelings will be hurt, people will be angry, but it's a necessary step.
Deergo Pines resident Rosemary Buten's giving more practical advice, saying the best bet might be just hang up the phone.
Even though it sounds like an emergency, they'll call back if it is.
Reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22, I'm Blake Lipton.
Always a good thing to make sure and keep in contact with your parents, your grandparents and stuff, and make sure that they've got somebody to talk to, so these people don't sound like somebody that's trying to befriend them and then take them take their money and such. So all good advice in there.
Yeah, it could happen to anyone, really.
Yes, it could. Yep. So we've got sports coming up. Andrew Badillo joins us now. What's going on, Andrew?
Back to you, JR and Kayla.
I'm going to look at that 2-day weekend because one day we thought it was going to be bad Saturday, then it moved to Sunday. Then it moved back to Saturday. Now it's taken over both.
Looks like a good weekend to work on things inside your house.
Looks like a good weekend. Maybe rent some movies or get that spring cleaning that you haven't done inside done. But let's hope that over the next 24 to 36 hours, this will change a little bit and we will see some sunshine. Because if this is a trend, I don't like these summertime trends when you see a lot of rain only on the weekends and your sunniest day is a Monday.
Yeah, I mean, at least it gives you a chance to look forward to a Monday at least, but at least tomorrow's forecast, Friday's forecast, looks pretty clear, and that's a good thing because our show tomorrow will be live from Relay for Life in Bangor.
Yep, so we're going to be there all night long. A lot of great things going on there, so if you want to come out and join us, see what they do and what it's all about, that is definitely something to do.
Lots to look forward to. Well, we'll be back with more right after the break.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, it is a great opportunity to get your hands on a new bicycle. Bangor's police department going to be holding their annual bike auction coming up this Saturday. Now, these bikes have all been turned in or found abandoned over the last year and will now be sold after no one has come forward to claim them. Now, you're going to find about 50 bikes, all in various conditions. There's also a little bit of time that's set aside for people to check them out before this auction gets underway.
There's a sneak peek from about 9 until 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll start the auction right at 10 o'clock sharp and sell all the bikes. So until we're done selling, we'll be there.
Now, all this money raised will help boost the department community relation efforts. The auction is going to be taking place this Saturday morning at 10 o'clock at the Bangor Parks and Recs headquarters on Main Streets in downtown Bangor. So if you're looking for a bike to help, help support what the Bangor Police Department does in the community, definitely a must-attend event. And again, it's indoors, so if it's raining, you won't have to worry about getting wet.
I was going to say, you can pick up a bike and then maybe save it to ride next weekend, the rest of the summer, and hopefully no rain on the weekends. But
that would be nice.
What are you going to do? That does it for tonight's newscast. From all of us here at ABC 7, have a great night.
Good night, everybody.